I'm Brian Wright. This is my wife, Michele. And we're here to talk a little bit about what has helped us along in our 30 years of marriage now. Going to be 31? Mm-hmm. June?
Yep, June.
See, that's the first thing to remember when your anniversary is. So Todd asked us to come up with some life events or things we've done that has helped our marriage along, and really we came up with a couple different instances. Of course,
where we grew closer.
Yeah, where we grew closer. So first off would probably be 2017, the year
biggest event.
I spent 90 days in the hospital, so that was something that took a lot of time, took a lot of commitment from her. I was out of it most of the time anyway, so it was more of a strain on her than it was me. But
one of the things that is a good life lesson that I think comes from this is, even though he was very sick, he didn't take himself or things too seriously. He made things fun. I mean, we still had a good time, believe it or not, in the hospital. The nurses loved to come in our rooms because he was so much fun. So even in your depths...
Fun as you can be with leukemia.
At least it wasn't like misery coming into the room. So.
And that was huge for me, too. I mean, she was there as much as I was, so it had to be more of a drag on her. I had the bigger bed. So.
It was more comfortable.
Prior to that, I don't know, 2006, Michele's dad passed away, and that was a difficult time. I had to take on a little more of what she'd been doing, just paying bills and stuff like that, because she used to do all that, and her mind was in a different place for a good 6 months to a year, so that was a trying time where we kind of had to lean on each other too, and probably came out the other end a little closer than we were to start.
Another thing, just in general, a specific thing is what we were asked, but it's hard to lay a specific down when it's just kids in general. Just having our kids and doing life with kids. We kind of did everything together. If he coached a team, which he coached many, I was the team mom and on the sidelines many times. And so we traveled to practice together. We did everything together. And because of it, we have more than just our 3 boys. We have lots of kids.
Kids come up to me all the time, "Hey, Coach, how are you?" And I don't even know who they are a lot of times, but it's part of me getting old and them growing up. But you take 3 kids through from Pop Warner Little League all the way through, they play college ball too. So it's a lot of people you meet, a lot of people you have a chance to influence or help out, or, just whatever. Different people need different things at different times, but it's something you got to prioritize. I mean, there is only so much time in a day. There's constraints. Everybody's got different things they could be doing, but what's important to you?
And 2 things that I've gained from those instances is your ministry is wherever you are at the time. Yeah. The other thing was kids. We are a revolving door at our house with kids, and we love it that way. And Saturday I came in from cleaning outside in a building. I had been there all day, and I came in and there was stuff everywhere. Like if they opened a box here, the lid was here, the box was here, they ate it all, so it was empty. A Coke can, just picking up the trash along the way. And I told Brian, I said, you know what? They're messy, but I'm glad they're here because it was our boys, well, not all of them, and then probably 5 more that had been there all day. So they were messing it up, but I said, I'd much rather them be here. We know what they're doing. They're good. They don't cause any problems, so we clean up after.
Yeah. And I mean, there is light at the end of the tunnel too, because we're getting to where the last one's coming through. He's a senior now. 1 down, 2 to go marriage-wise. So we'll see what the Mike and Sandy part of life's like now.
Communication is key. A couple of different things. When he was sick and in the hospital, so funny because he would not tell, I'd say, "How do you feel?" And he said, "Fine." And you could look at him and say, "You don't feel fine." And so we were going to the doctor one day, and I said, "Tell me how you really feel, because you don't feel fine." And he said, "Well, would you rather me tell you I feel like I've been beat with a pillowcase full of soap?" And I said, "Well, if that's how you feel, that's what I need to know." So we drove a few more miles. And then I looked at him and I said, how many bars of soap? And then he said, 90 or whatever. And so then it was so easy because in the morning I would just have to say, how many bars of soap today? And he would just give me a number and I'd be like, okay. And finally we would get down into the 60s and it was a better day. And then get to the 40s, it was a better day. And I knew just by a number what kind of day we were having. Having 3 boys and him, they gang up on you when you're the only woman or girl in the family.
Not intentionally.
So it's good to have some time. And so they would go hunting. You would take the boys hunting.
Still do.
I would go sometimes, but I would stay back sometimes and do stuff at the house that needed to be done without them around. And that was good.
She shops, I hunt. It works.
I hunt
So-
at the mall.
You got some things you like to do. You got to do it all together. But, try to prioritize it. We went to church a lot. We went to church a bunch. We went to church on Sunday morning. We went to church on Sunday night. We went to church on Wednesdays.
It was good for us to hear, like Brother Todd was just talking last week about the things that a young couple needs to hear. It was good. Our pastor that we were sitting under would always say, I remember just going in on a regular day and him saying, you need to be careful at work. You need to guard your self to not be too close to people. And stuff you would never even think of as a young person.
Look, it boils down to its priorities, because that's not easy. It's not easy to drag 3 kids to church 3 or 4 times a week. Nobody says it is. It's not always fun. But it comes down to what you're going to prioritize in your life, what's more important to you. And you can't be there all the time. There's things that come up. It's just how it is. But so far, it's worked for us.
Mm-hmm.